Hello guys, hello. Another quick video for you. So I want to talk about something called linear resistance, and partially why I think resistance bands are such an effective piece of kit, and I would recommend everyone having a set of resistance bands at home if your budget allows for it. Love them, and here is a little bit why before I go on to what linear resistance is. You can literally take them anywhere, all right? As most of you may know, a lot of the time I spend my time living in Zambia and I move and travel around a bit. This can go anywhere with me. You cannot take a barbell like this behemoth behind me just in your backpack when you're going somewhere. But these things will go anywhere with you, all right? Secondly, if you have limited equipment and you want to increase the amount of resistance you have, you can actually couple these up with something like a barbell, okay? So, oh, that was a fail. Thought I did it right, there we go. So now, here, okay, if I stand on that, if I stand on the band, okay, and then I wanted to pick the weight up, I'm now picking up the resistance of the band plus the weight, not just the weight itself. Okay, so basically resistance bands, they are, I think, incredible. I love them, I swear by them. They're not the be all and end all, but they are an amazing piece of kit. Versatile, they can go anywhere with you. And now a little bit I want to talk about linear resistance and why I think it's such a really cool component of fitness and how it can help you. So, I'm just going to go back to my barbell for a second, okay? If I do an RDL, okay, so this barbell is 40 kilos. If I do an RDL, the barbell is 40 kilos here. It's 40 kilos here, it's 40 kilos here, and it's 40 kilos here. Wherever you put this, even if I put it above my head, this barbell is still 40 kilograms. However, if I'm using a resistance band, and let's just say for the sake of argument that, you know, full resistance, this is 80 kilos. Probably unlikely, it's probably more like 80 pounds, but you get my point. Okay. So I'm holding the band like I'd be doing an RDL, okay? The resistance is decreasing the closer I get to the point where it is, what's the right word? The point where it's anchored, okay? And as I pull, the resistance increases, and if I pull it up and up and up, the resistance is going to keep increasing. Now, that's really important, and I'm going to show you with a bent over row why I think that's so important and really an overlooked fact as to why these things are so cool. So, in movements, we have, as a human being, as a human race, a tendency to be stronger in certain parts of movements than others. So, for example, when we're doing a bent over row or rowing exercises, okay, we are stronger at the top part of the movement here, where our muscle is more engaged, than we are at the bottom part of the movement. Same thing for pressing exercises. When you're doing a bench press, for example, okay, I'm just going to show you from a standing point. From a bench press, we are a lot weaker in this position than we are at lockout. So if I asked you to do this only, you'll be able to lift more weight than if I asked you to just do this part. We're weaker into a deeper range of motion, more often than not. Having a resistance band, okay, that has less resistance in the area where you're a little bit weaker, and more resistance in the area where you're a little bit stronger, helps you to overload in the exact same pattern of your body's strengths. Basically meaning that if you couldn't get, I'm going to use 80 kilograms as our example again and just stick with trend, okay? if you can't get 80 kilograms off of your chest, but you can lock it out, you can't use an 80 kilogram barbell for a bench press because you won't get it off your chest. However, if you're using a resistance band, okay, that speaks towards the stimulus that you need. So let's say, for example, again, 80 kilograms at lockout, but here it's 40 kilograms. That means you can get it off your chest, and as you get towards your lockout phase, you're at 80 kilograms. So you're able to reach the stimulus that you need in terms of weight at its peak of the movement, but equally, that doesn't stop you from moving that weight, because at the bottom of the movement, in that full range of motion, it's lighter so you can still move it. And that's really, really important. I think it's really, really cool. The way that resistance bands work in the same linear progression and the same linear resistance as our bodies more often than not. So I hope that helps, guys. If you can, I would recommend getting a set of resistance bands, especially if you train at home rather than at a gym. I can program resistance band stuff in for you. I think they're brilliant. I swear by them. I don't just use them, but I use them for a lot of things, including warm-ups, including making stuff with barbells and dumbbells more difficult. But yeah, love resistance bands. I hope that's a really cool insight into linear resistance for you and why I think they're so such a cool bit of kit. And I'll speak to you all soon. Any questions, as always, shoot me a message. I'll get back to you. Much love.